was just making a really bad joke. How are my levels?
Man, that's my.
How are her vitals? That was one of the things. Is the fireman leaned me up and he was like, "Oh my gosh, this is really low." And I was like, "What's low?" Dying.
The limbo? What?
Yeah. Yeah, that was the other thing. Is this? I didn't split my chin, but I passed out before, and they took me in the ambulance. And so even though I was really weak, I was like, I don't want to go in the ambulance because I know it's going to be a lot of money.
Yes. Yeah.
And so in like the middle of it, I was like, well, we could just drive.
It's
But then
27.
at the point, you're just like, take me away.
Yeah.
Take care of me.
For you to be thinking about money at a time like that. Wow.
Yeah, I got the hospital bill and I was like, what? Gnarly. But my insurance was fine.
You know what else is gnarly? Episode 27 of
27.
Cutting It Close with Cliff and Kelsie.
And Mary Baghdady.
Mary Baghdady is
Hey.
our special guest.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we
A little bit of everything.
yes.
A lot of everything.
It was great.
A lot of Mary. You do so much.
Oh my
God.
word.
That's why we touched upon a bit of everything.
Yes.
It has been
From
a
art to
whirlwind
filmmaking.
living in Honolulu.
Yeah.
Hawaii.
Coming from South Carolina
Coming
to
from
Hawaii and
South
just
Carolina.
jumping right into it.
About 4,000 miles away. Yeah.
Mhm. That's crazy.
Truly jumping in. And I
Yeah.
have Kelsie to thank for that. For
Cat Wong,
Cat Francel was the beginning. We can all blame her. And Cliff for letting me on his set. I remember. It was a Friday down at
Yes, it
On
was.
King,
Mhm.
and the director is like the person. And so I went home and I was like, the director gave me a hug. It's just so important. And I think that relationship with the director, you should always like respect them and honor them. And now that I've kind of like swam through the ranks a little bit, I'm trying to like maintain that. Because other people have it too, like PAs on set, they're just like, the director is walking here.
Oh my gosh! Wow, that's so weird.
I gave him a water.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
You always like maintain the respect for the director. But yeah, Cliff Bailey.
Oh no,
out.
Mary Baghdady. Yeah. No, this is like just a sample of what you're about to enjoy for the next hour and 42 minutes.
Hour and 42 minutes.
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
No. Yeah, it was great.
It
So.
It was really great. Like you said, she's really prolific.
Yes. Prolific, prodigious, proficient.
Prodigious. Oh man, I'm gonna have to use that.
October Sky. Have you seen that?
Oh,
You need to watch it.
I think I have.
It's from the late 90s, early 2000s.
Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal, yeah.
It definitely is ringing a bell.
You need to.
What's a brief? What's the long line?
It's basically.
Rocket ships.
Yeah, a kid in West Virginia discovers rockets. It's in like the 60s during the space race. Sputnik is orbiting and he wants to do rockets. His father's like, "You're gonna work in the coal mine," and he's like, "I'm gonna make rockets." And it's great.
I think
fantastic.
Watch it.
So.
What's confusing is like October Rush
Oh.
or August Rush.
August Rush.
August Rush.
Yes. No, this is Halloween. October Sky.
Oh, okay, October
Yes.
Sky. Okay, I feel like I've seen it. Oh, okay, October
But
Sky.
definitely a good rewatch.
And the other one was
Nicholas Nickleby.
Nicholas
Nickleby.
Nickleby.
Yes.
But before that, Tommy Boy.
Tommy Boy. Yes.
Tommy Boy.
And for me,
Likewise.
Atonement.
Yes.
I must atone for not seeing Atonement by watching
And
Atonement.
what's the other one? There's a second one.
You'll have to listen to find out. Because I can't remember.
Cliffhanger.
Oh, no. No, thank you.
Dang it.
No.
Did it again.
Oh, man.
What a good show.
But yeah, we had
Time.
we had so much fun. And please support us by following us on the socials at Cutting It Close Pod. It means the world to us. Thank you to everyone. Well, this is like 5 episodes later, but anyway, thank you for everyone who responded to the invites and are following us on the page and whatnot. And we're gonna just keep on trucking until we get to that stop. Until we
Great.
run out of gas.
This week's episode is sponsored by MVMP.
Yes.
Premier advertising agency in Honolulu. They donate us our space.
Yes.
And they've been around
Conference room
since
sub studio.
70s. Yeah.
The 70s?
Yeah, they've been around for a hell of a long time.
Holler.
Neato.
Yeah.
Dope.
If you need
Cool.
an agency to do your stuff, hey, get some money together.
Yes.
It's gonna cost a lot.
Yes.
What does that stand for?
It's the co-founders, so
Oh,
Melissa, Valenti, Ing, Pack.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah.
BMP.
Yeah.
Sounds so
It's
VIP.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. Thanks for having me again.
Sure. And hope you enjoy this episode with Mary Baghdady.
Thank you.
Episode 27, I think it was.
Yes.
All right, yes, all right, great. Fantastic. Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Here in a month ago. So January 4th, 2018 was my official
Wow.
arrival. Yeah. So when I was thinking back on everything I had done this year, I was like, how in the world? I didn't think moving to Hawaii there was even a film industry, which is going to change in the next year for sure. But yeah, I just was thirsty to learn about it, and I was applying for jobs, and video content and media kept coming up, and I was like, oh wait, something exists here that I didn't know about. And then my first film set was in March with Casey Lampidis, with Auntie Emma.
Yeah.
And then you were my second.
Hey, cool.
You were awesome letting me come on for like a morning. I think I was only there. I was second camera, so I was doing
cool.
Yeah, which I don't know how I got up there that fast.
For real.
Yeah. And Faye Bailey was AD, and so that was great.
What a great person to know on
Right.
your first day on set.
Yeah. She was like,
So wonderful.
This girl, yeah. But yeah,
But she'll show you the ropes.
She will show you the ropes. Yeah, it was.
If you want to learn from someone,
yeah.
learn from Faye.
Learn
Watch
from
what she
Faye.
does.
Yeah. She's amazing. She's a force of nature. But so you were my second set.
Cool.
And then we worked together.
Yes, on High Hawaii.
On High Hawaii. Yeah.
Oh.
So we had to figure out how to build.
Kat Francel introduced us.
Yes.
Oh,
Makeup
wow.
on your set.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and she did makeup for
Kat
Mocha.
Francel.
Yeah, nice.
Because you guys did coffee together.
Yeah, so my
Worked at a coffee
first
shop
my
together.
first job was at Island Brew Coffee House out in Hawaii Kai. I would have to wake up and take the 4:30 bus.
Wow.
4:30 a.m.
Oh,
to get
yeah.
there by 5:30.
Yikes.
It was like definitely a immersive experience for my first
It's a crash course in Hawaiian
yeah,
culture.
just like
Take
get on the bus and go really far. And my first day working there, I met her, and I was thinking about it today. You know, it's one of those experiences you'll never forget because Kat Francel, right? She's great.
She's awesome.
Yeah. So we were just talking film, and then
So
a couple
motivated,
days.
so passionate.
Yeah, very driven, very kind, very. She refused to let me go home on the bus if we ever got off on the same time. She would always
Nice.
drive me home.
Huh.
Yeah.
And that's
I
like
would
way
laugh
out of
the
her
whole
way because she lives in
So
Kahala.
she
had
was
to go
right.
way
Yeah.
far.
She loved it. She was like, anytime you want to drive anywhere, just let me know. Yeah. But so a couple days after I met her, we were just talking film, and she was like, I know who you need to talk to. Talk to Kelsie. Cool.
So
Yeah,
sweet.
yeah.
And I'm
on.
so happy that she introduced us because, man, you were such a big help. Yeah, so we got this sudden request for a rifle crate from like the 1890s.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Mary, what are we going to do? I called everywhere. I can't find this rifle crate. And we were going to shoot like the next day or maybe
Holy
in 2
cow.
days. And I'll just never forget. You're like, don't worry, I got it.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah, I don't know what came over me, but I made it, and then I think I saw you that night, and we were gonna shoot on Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember.
Yeah.
And I had forgotten that I had made it. I didn't tell you.
Yeah.
And I saw you that night, and I was like, oh, hey, I made the case. And you were like, what? And I was like, I know.
What do you mean you made it?
Yeah.
So this girl doesn't have a car, so she got
Yeah.
into a cab and went to City Mill and put the lumber in the cab.
Holy cow.
Yeah, it was kind of
Wow.
extreme. Yeah. I was just like really thirsty to learn. And
Yeah.
I was like, I
Had
need a
City Mill
rifle
cut it.
case. Yeah.
Love it. Like brought
Yeah.
the plans to
Yeah.
City Mill.
I think it was Josh Lee. I texted. I was like, hey, you have to credit this girl in High Hawaii because she essentially cut all the wood for me and planned the whole thing. I just had to like drill the thing together.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I think she was in the credits when I watched it the
Nice.
last time. Yeah,
That's awesome.
That's
she was
great.
like, "You're not going to use this for anything bad," and I was like, "Absolutely not. You are going to be famous.
Yeah.
You're going to be our rifle case advisor." So yeah.
Certainly saved the day. That's so
Oh,
cool.
That was a really fun set. That was amazing. So that would have been
Big
my
deals. It was a
first-
huge set.
Yeah, Iolani
Really,
Palace.
really cool.
That was my first time being at Iolani Palace. And
Nice.
I was on a film set.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening?
That's so
to me?
rad.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun. And you know, filmmakers, the weather is always a huge concern.
Mm-hmm.
And the weather was amazing, except it was a little windy. And so, do you remember the tags kept like flipping
Oh my
over?
gosh. Yes, that stage. Oh my gosh.
The stage was crazy.
It was crazy.
Yeah, it was kind of on. It was like on flimsy. What was the material? It wasn't wood. It
No,
was,
it was like sawdust that they glued together.
yeah,
What?
basically.
It was like the
Yeah, it was like
Particle
cotton
board or
bud.
something?
Yeah.
It's such
Oh
a
my
tight
God.
Yeah,
budget
yeah.
that
Yeah.
I just got the cheapest wood.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's like
Yeah, it was blowing a lot, and so we would have to like fix the set every once in a while. But yeah, my favorite was at the Plantation Village though.
Plantation Village
Yeah,
is
that was a
so
long
cool.
day.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I think we started at 5 a.m. and then wrapped at midnight.
Wow.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah. It's great.
So fun, but didn't you feel so accomplished after
Oh,
the
it was
day?
so
Like,
good. Yeah.
You whipped around sets so fast.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
crazy.
I still have photos of because we had to turn around the same room a couple times,
Mhm.
which is like movie magic. You know, watching it now, you can't tell, and that's
Yeah.
what's incredible.
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
like the work is hidden under the
I
rug.
love
like,
that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that was a really cool set. Yeah, really honored to be a part of a story about Hawaii. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
Very, very humbling.
Forgive me if I missed this because I was making sure our backup was working, which it's not. So I'm using that now as our backup.
We got it.
From graphic design to film, like what caused that? What motivated you?
I think every filmmaker will tell you they were interested in it as a kid.
Okay.
Mhm.
So in middle school and high school, we would always crank out these, you know, really silly
Nice.
home videos. And
Uh-huh.
I think what I was interested in was the editing component, even though I wouldn't claim myself as an editor right now, even though
Mhm.
I'm editing my own short film, which is
Hey.
nuts. But yeah, I think it was just the process of having the story and cutting it up and then piecing it back together that was interesting to me. And I don't know how I made the leap. Again, I think it was just applying for jobs. I think it was a relocation that really forced me to, you know, really think about a career and, you know, what are the opportunities? What's out here?
Mhm.
And like I said, I didn't have a context for Hawaii. I didn't, you know, I graduated and within a month moved.
Mhm.
You know, I didn't have time to think about like where I was moving.
Wow.
And so I didn't know about the film industry here, and I'm super excited to see where it's going right now. I mean, just all the independent filmmakers are really
Yeah.
changing the game.
Yeah.
But I think if you can make a logical leap from graphic design to filmmaking, I think it's just translating information and a story. You know, for example, the scientists I work with, you know, they have a project they're working on, and that essentially is a story. It's like, we did this, we had this idea, and we're making this product. And I have to sit down and kind of not make it sterile, but make it stagnant in a picture or a flyer.
Oh, sure.
And so I think thinking about the potential visually, as far as like making different flyers and making different brochures, and also my degree helped a lot.
Oh, yeah.
We were required to have a gallery show, and we had to have like 10 to 12 pieces, and you sort of had like a thesis for what your art was about. So I had to think about, you know, the literal gallery walls being a timeline of sorts. And maybe not a timeline, but why does this one relate to this one, and why does this one relate to the other one type thing.
Okay.
So I'm constantly thinking about like why the next frame or picture or design matches the last one and the next one. So I think that piecing together is a really nice logical leap from graphic design to filmmaking.
Totally, yeah.
Except it's moving, which is
Yeah.
100 times more variables you have to deal with. But yeah. That's the only way I can really describe how I got here as far as filmmaking. yeah, because it's not easy to leap back and forth. But that's why I love talking about films, especially ones that are in progress. I wish we did a better job of, allowing ourselves to show our work and say like, hey, I'm in the middle of an edit, like, can you help me with the direction I want to go, and get really constructive feedback like that. And I think critiquing is something filmmakers should definitely try to. I don't know, how's the ACM course with, design principles or
what was that?
Yeah.
Well, I'm always impressed by filmmakers who drop amazing words like texture or movement or pattern or like emphasis, and those are very like art focused words, and I think combining the two would really kind of catapult people forward. At least with films. Design principles, elements and principles of design. It's like line, shape, color. Because you think about all that, you just don't know how to label it.
I never really...
We covered it briefly in cinematography class.
Oh, I never...
With Anne.
Yeah.
We didn't take these.
Because she was on sabbatical.
Oh,
like 3 out of my semesters. 3 out of my 4 semesters.
Oh my gosh.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think because, every film is 100 pieces of art, if you think about a sequence.
Yeah.
And the way that the next shot or scene work with the last one is really important to kind of creating like a coherent overall vision. Like your log line would be kind of like, my artwork is about this type thing. But yeah, I would that would be my passion, is like getting everyone watching more films, but also watching films like in progress and talking about it.
Okay.
That would be
Nice.
really beneficial to our community.
Or at least starting with the ACM students or the WCC students.
Wow,
yeah.
I think there's not enough opportunities to receive feedback. We do screen, but we don't allow ourselves to receive feedback, maybe. A lot of the times it's just positive stuff.
Yeah, people are afraid to be honest.
The people doing the viewing, critiquing them.
Because I think they're afraid of hurting other people's feelings, but then also they know that they would be on the receiving end of it.
One day it'll come back to haunt them.
And it's such an achievement to put together a film, so we all know as filmmakers, like, it's so hard, so at least you did that, so we don't want to put it down, but to do it for like a editing in progress kind of thing, I think would be really helpful. A finished product.
Right. I think the challenge is there's so much work and money and time that's put in. That having someone say like scrap it would be
that's an essential part of it, though.
Right.
Like when you are editing and like maybe you have a shot or something that you're absolutely in love with, but it does not fit.
Right.
And then you just gotta like just let it go. Or murder the darlings, murder your babies.
Kill the darlings. I think you told me that the first time. In the writing process, it's easy to tell writers, like, you just gotta get rid of this. And there's something about the filmmaking that's hard to, like, I think if it fits somewhere in there where you're not, maybe you started editing, but not totally,
so that you could go back and reshoot if you needed to.
Right, or reevaluate, kind of restructure. Yeah. That's something I'm really interested in doing. Because when something's finished,
oh my God,
like, what can you say? As far as like fix it.
Well, you can say, it's
crap. There's so much stigma around like the jokes around editing. It's like you're editing like in the screening room, and you're like exporting there at the moment.
Well, that's the problem, like, because it's only one pair of eyes. And the only way you can like make something better is to get more eyes on it. I mean, maybe if you subscribe to the auteur theory and and that's your thing and your vision is your vision, great. But if 5 more people don't like it, what's the point?
Right.
Except for your own satisfaction, which is fine. But don't expect people to watch it.
And too, everything's so subjective that you have to, even if you finish and you get critique, you have to be ready for the haters and also for the people who love it, and you have to learn as a creative, like, when to decipher it, when it's constructive and when it's not. It's just part of the way the creative world turns. There are going to be people who are just not into it, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, it's all about finding your audience too.
True. Yeah, so graphic design to filmmaking. Here we are.
That's great.
I really like that idea of setting up workshops. Maybe you can do that through HFC or something.
Yeah.
White Filmmakers Collective. Shout out. I mean, they have the venue for it. And you certainly have the community behind you. You can all come together and
Yeah, I think that'd be invaluable for HFC. I think I'm hearing our directors in my head. They'd be like, yeah, that's a great idea. You're in charge. You lead it up. Yeah. So no, I would absolutely love to do it. I think in terms of what we're talking about, maybe getting people to start practicing talking about their films, even if they're finished, is probably a good way to start teaching people how to start talking about it in a constructive way, even if it's finished. And then this audience and this group is here for you. If you have one that's halfway or you've barely even started, pitching essentially.
Sure.
Yeah. Getting better at doing that. Yeah.
So how did you get involved with HFC?
Actually, I think I showed up like a year ago this month. I just kept seeing stuff for filmmaking pop up in Hawaii. I was looking for jobs, and video content kept popping up, and I think I saw like the writers group or there was a lesson on the film permits with Donnie Dawson.
Oh wow.
And that was my first HFC thing. I attended her workshop, and she was talking about all the legality behind making a film, and I was like, whoa, I didn't realize there were so many steps. And, she wasn't even talking about creative stuff. She was just talking about like, these are the rules and
crash course in producing.
Yeah, I guess that's why I kind of like, that's where I'm headed. So that was my first HFC thing, and then I wrote a little bit, and then let's see, what was the next thing? I think it was the 48-hour film challenge after I started with all the ACM students.
Okay.
And then Tai Sanga with Hey Hawaii. We all grouped together for the 48-hour film challenge. Won, and then the directors were like, hey, we'd like all of you to volunteer for us. And then the summer happened, and so I was kind of the one that lived here. Everyone else went back home, and I just kind of became their admin assistant, and I respond to emails and stuff like that. I organized the studio, but yeah, mainly I just set the table up and check people in, kind of make sure things are good. And yeah, I love it because I'm a part of this community. We're not misfits, but we're not ACM, we're not AUH. We're just a bunch of filmmakers learning and taking the opportunities when we can. And then I think that May I won the HFC pitch. With Emma Daly. We co-wrote Turn On Your Own, the short film we produced over the summer.
Nice.
Brianna Smith was on it. Casey Lapidus, I can never say her last name. Lapidus, yeah. She helped me get started. We filmed at Wailana Coffee House, which RIP is now closed.
Oh, so sad.
So sad.
Oh, yeah.
I love that you got to feature its beauty though.
Holy
before
cow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It was Kat Wong too was production designing. Kat Francel did makeup.
Yep.
I had such an amazing crew.
Oh yeah.
Casting director Kelsey Green over there. I don't know if you met her.
Bunch of women, bunch of powerful women.
I think we had like 2 males. And Cliff produced. You contributed to the indie. Yeah. It'll crank back up again. Don't know who the editor is. It's me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that the one that you're in the middle of editing? No?
Yeah, I think I don't want to like break the hearts of everyone who helped me. I've done a rough cut, and I showed it at the HFC did a new thing where if you finish within the next pitch cycle, you get in the running to be like a pitch completer or whatever for the next. So
interesting.
1 month are we in January? If you complete a film by May, you can submit it for like a completed pitch film.
Groovy.
Yeah. So I did that for the sake of the deadline, which is so healthy. Deadlines are amazing. But I was talking about, the middle of the edit feedback. I got some ideas, and I'm, kind of reevaluating.
Oh, sure.
So I think I'm gonna scrap it and just start over.
Sometimes you got to do that.
Yeah, just kind of make it a little neater, a little bit more organized.
Sure.
I have a lot. I'm being the kind of co-producer and director. I was so close to it.
Yeah.
It was really hard to take like a healthy break, and I've had quite a healthy break from it. I think it's been like 3 months since I've touched it. Yeah. So I'm gonna re-edit it and get it in for March or so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I saw some
February.
Screenshots on Instagram of it, and it just looks so beautiful.
So that's what I was gonna say is Kat Wong, she did the costumes, the hair, she pretty much built the characters with the actors. That was really important to me, was that they had alone time to build on their own. I didn't have to tell them exactly who they were. And Wailana was so beautiful, especially at night. It's shot at night. We didn't have to dress it up. I mean, she made milkshakes to give it sort of a period piece. Yeah.
Nice.
And she used my blender bottle, like the kind you use to work out, and she was shaking milkshakes. We had like strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate. But no, the reflections on the windows and kind of the nightlife down by Waikiki is there was nothing we had to add, really. Wow. The bathroom was pink, and not saying that has to be gender specific, but for being an all-girl film, it was just something that Hawaii in general just has like naturally pink, and I don't know about the men's room, but
warm color.
Yeah, warm color. Yeah.
But the way Crystal shot it too.
Yes.
Crystal shot it, right?
Yes, Crystal. Crystal
Crystal
was
Backey.
yes, Crystal
nice.
Backey.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't know her until we met to shoot the film.
Wow.
Yeah, and we were meeting down in Makiki, and I was like, "Hey, I'm Mary. Would you please be my DP?" And she was really into it. She really took her time to really think about it.
Oh, cool.
But the thing I love about Crystal is she challenged me so much to think about why this, why that, why are you making this decision? Why is this in the script? Why is this part of the production design? She thinks about everything, which as an artist is invaluable. That really made me very intentional, and as our shoot days were crazy because Wailana closed, even though it was 24 hours, they had to close officially at night to clean. And so our call times were 9 p.m. to like 4 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nuts. Every day during that process, I would just look around at the people that were a part of this, and I was like so thankful. It's like, I don't know why you're here, you barely know me, I just moved here, and everyone just loved on me, and
all volunteer time,
all volunteer totally, and they love the project. And even though the nights were late, as the shoot went on, people would stay later and later, and I would pick up Crystal and drive her to set. And the last night of shooting, we only shot 4 days. We stayed in the car till like 5. We wrapped around 3 a.m. We stayed in the car till like 5:30, like talking and just bonding and crying. It was like, we were so tired, and it would have been a really crazy shoot.
Sure.
And so much happened, and
that sense of like completion, and you'd like,
oh my gosh,
together and contributed what you had.
It was I love Crystal.
Feeling.
She records moments. She kind of like always has a record button on.
Yeah.
But when we were in that car, I could sense that she was like, oh, I wish I had my camera on. and that's what she's trying to capture, right? Is those like truly authentic moments where you just have people in their element and super candid. And I remember like weeping, and I was in the moment with her, and we were just like, we did it. And I was like, I bet she wishes she had her camera on right now. It was like 5:30 in the morning. We were like, I love you, man. I love you. Yeah. Wow. The relationship between a director and DP is like super special. But yeah, I owe everyone like a huge thanks for getting through that. But yeah, so did a rough cut, trying to edit it, but I'm very honored I was in Wailana. That was my top priority. Was I told Brianna and Casey, and I think you were there too when we were auditioning. I was like, above all, I want to respect Wailana because I know who I am and I know where I'm coming into, and I would like to respect this as much as I didn't grow up here, and I wanted to honor that this was someone else's space, and this was important to other people way bigger than I am. Yeah. 60s. Yeah. So yeah, every time I pass it, I just kind of like, oh, I wish you were still open. Yeah.
Well, I can't wait for you to share that with the previous owners if we can find them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think I would definitely want to reach out. I definitely want to find them. I have the lady who gave us permission to shoot there. I have her contact, and I'm very intentionally going to make sure they know this is what happened. Yes. So super historic moment, if you could say that.
Yeah,
closed
totally.
Like a couple months ago, but yeah, very honored.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah,
really, sounds great.
Yeah. Someone told me, they're like, it was such a female film, and I was like, well, yeah, it is. It's a really fun one. But yeah, Crystal, her style was really great. We wanted it to be like a little bit loose and not documentary style, but very much as if you were a participant at the table.
Sure.
That's kind of how the breadth of it is. Sort of, you're participating the whole time. You, as an audience member, as someone viewing it, you're part of their group, even though obviously you're not contributing greatly. And that's kind of how we wanted it. Like there's 5 girls, so a 6th viewer, and I mean, I remember where we were when we kind of thought of the idea, because Emma and I co-wrote it. And we were all sitting at a restaurant, and I was at the head of the table, and I was kind of watching these girls have this conversation. And it felt like I was there, but I wasn't contributing. I was just kind of watching this thing unfold that is hanging out with friends, kind of like what we're doing now. It's like this nice little phenomenon. So yeah, we wanted to maintain that kind of like over the shoulder type of look. So
nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We had one source of light. It was a china ball.
Wow.
That we taped onto the ceiling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Very, very interesting.
So when I first read the script, when you asked me to come on as casting, it wasn't a period piece. At what point did it change into one?
Well, it wasn't. We didn't write it specifically for any time period. There was no reference to like cell phones or music or clothes. And Kat actually asked me like, when is this happening specifically? And so because we didn't have technology, I mean, Emma and I, we thought of a couple ways we could incorporate it, and we didn't feel the need. We just wanted a bunch of girls like having a moment. And so Kat was like, if you want to push it back into like the 80s or 90s, you could, because there's no reference to cell phones or anything. And so I'm really glad we did, because it made it timeless automatically. It made it, a little bit more special than something that happened like last week or last prom season or something. So I'm super grateful. Very talented people who ask questions like that. So yeah, that's why I say now it's like a period piece, because it's not anything specific. But and the whole time, I can't remember, probably before we even started shooting, the song Tequila was playing in my head for the prom scene, because we had a very like choreographed prom scene. And that was the pace at which I wanted things to happen. And that song was from like, the 30s. I think it's Shane and who sings Tequila?
I don't know the
like
song.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, that. Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's a new song called Tequila. Isn't there?
I'm sure there's
I have no idea.
several Tequila songs.
But the classic.
The classic, yeah. I think I got it from Breakfast at Tiffany's. I don't know that it's in that movie, but it's one that's very similar.
Okay.
But it's just this like.
I know it from Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
and then in Baby Driver.
Yes.
They have a different version.
Yes. Oh, so maybe that's the newer one, the newer version.
Oh, I don't think it's newer. But it's different. It's like a samba almost or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I guess that like high velocity, high momentum.
Yeah.
Like what's happening? Which, you know, high school girls, that's not quite at the caliber of Baby Driver, but to high school girls, everything is intense and everything is important and everything is a moment. And so I was just like, naturally it should be. And we, yeah. so I had Daniel Valencia, actually.
Oh, I don't know Daniel.
Rhea Chupek's boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
He graciously, he's never met me, made kind of spin-off. And yeah, that sort of leads you into the the chaos. Yeah. Wow. That is Turn on Your Own.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
So is the prom scene a one take?
I wanted it to be, but thank the Lord for Crystal, because we did 11 takes, and then she was like, let's just break it up a little bit. And I'm so glad she said that, because now we have reaction shots and we have people dancing around in the prom, and because I learned one thing, which is sort of a given, but we didn't have time, you know, we were kind of shorthanded, to keep the actors on their mark, because we had a assistant camera, and we were having a really hard time focusing. We had a focus whip, but it wasn't working quite well, and so every time we set the actors, it changed a little, so her focus was never quite the same. So, and Crystal sensed that, and she didn't actually let me know for a couple of days, and she was just protecting me from, you know, being stressed out. And she was like, we have to get reaction shots. And I was like, great, okay, let's do it. I trust you. I don't know why, but let's do it. And so now, that really saved I wanted it to be a one take, but yeah, we ended up having to break it up, which is totally fine. It works so much better. Yeah. So
that DP director relationship is really important.
Yeah, I'm laughing because we had everyone break. We had quite a few extras, maybe like 20 extras, show up at the little studio in HFC. That's where we filmed the prom scene.
I was gonna ask.
Kat Wong did the whole thing in silver and made this. She hung the China ball light in a chandelier she made out of hula hoops, and so it was really light, and we were hanging it from the lighting setup. I mean, brilliant.
Amazing.
Brilliant.
Movie magic.
Yeah. So I mean, the whole thing was maybe like a couple ounces, and so it didn't bear any weight on the ceiling. But we made everyone break, and somehow in that massive but small room, when you have a prom in there, Crystal and I ended up alone. And it was the third consecutive day. We took a week-long break and then shot the last day. And so we had been up late 2 nights before, all night. You know, I think I probably went to work, and she did too. And she saw me kind of like break down a little bit, and it was just the moment. It was, everything is happening at once, and you're stressed and you're excited, and everything's going well and going wrong at the same time. And she said, I can't believe you're crying. That's so good of you. It's so, directors have such a hard time showing when they're, emotional, or when they never let their guard down. And I was really, she said that, and we just like hugged it out. I think that was kind of like the turning point. Yeah, it was weirdly powerful. You guys know Crystal, it just happens with her. But I was like, okay, I'll cry more often. Like, that's what you need. It was a cool moment. And then after that, that's kind of where we made the decision, like, okay, let's just take the camera off the tripod, because we had it on a sort of dolly tripod.
Okay.
So everything was kind of like loosey-goosey from there. Everyone had a much better time. And I mean, it's just when you're honest with yourself and you're able to kind of let loose a little bit, I think. That's where people can start really making things happen. Sure. It was a cool moment.
Oh my goodness.
And letting in other people's suggestions and ideas. As a director, that takes a lot. I mean, I couldn't have been there without everyone, and I recognize that every day. And so when she said that, I was just like, you're right, let's do this type thing. So really, really amazing set. And then, gosh, that was August.
and then Hele turned around and was on the other side of the camera with the Hele gas station commercial.
Right, it all started in this room right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That was wild.
We were casting for a gas station spot, and we're having trouble finding redheads or finding people. It was a spoof off of Thelma and Louise.
Yes.
And having trouble finding redheads, having trouble finding women who had attitudes. And so we were doing callbacks, having some women come in, and they put a call out at my agency here at MVMP, the best. I'm like, oh my gosh, Mary would be so perfect for this.
But she's not a redhead.
Beautiful. Yeah, she's not a redhead, but you like have the look and like, yes, you have the attitude and the charisma and the confidence of, of those characters that they're looking for.
Gina Davis type.
Well, you went to Clemson. Are you from South Carolina?
I'm from South Carolina.
There you go, Southern woman.
Southern, she's got the tube.
Yeah. So I brought her in. This is where we had callbacks.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there as the director and our creative director here were making the decision. I'm like, and then they like had it down to 2, and Mary was one of them. I'm like, oh my god, it's really gonna happen right now. Oh my word. Cool. It was so cool.
Yeah.
That was another long night. That was like we started at 4 p.m. wrapped at 4 a.m.
Wow.
Night
yeah,
shoots.
that was a 6 p.m. call time, I think. And then,
6 to 6.
I wrapped early.
That's right.
The other redhead was she had to stay later, I think, to grab the hand inserts. That was, if you had told me a month before that I would be in a commercial, I was like, you're joking. This is not real. Do not pull this on me. But yeah, cool. That was...
You earned it, girl. You aced your audition.
Yeah,
you were so flexible and so great with direction. She had to like pretend she was in a car.
Yeah.
Let's hell out, darling.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That was the end of the night. We had to do a couple pickup noises and sounds and... Yeah,
and talk about the hair. Kat Wong to the rescue again.
To the rescue, yeah. Everyone's getting shout outs tonight. That was a fast turnaround. Was it a Monday? And then we shot on a Wednesday. Yeah. So I had to dye my hair Tuesday night. Yeah. And I remember the director was like in between if we should do it or not. Because my hair had red tint, so
she wasn't this blonde.
I wasn't as blonde.
Auburn brunette.
Yeah, and definitely. But my partner was definitely a redhead, so there was quite a contrast. Yeah. And I told him, I was like, I've never dyed my hair before. Like, this is gonna be a gamble. And he was like, let's do it. So showed up on set, and you kind of forget when it's your own hair. You kind of forget what you look like.
Yeah.
And what were people calling me? Something Mrs. Rabbit or what's?
Jessica Rabbit.
Yes. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know if that's a good thing.
It was like big, voluptuous.
Oh my gosh.
So great.
It was a lot of fun.
We had those tight waist, high jeans. Oh my gosh.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, I'd never seen Thelma and Louise, and I didn't watch it for the audition. I was like, I don't want to, wreck anything I think I have going for myself. And so I think when you called me, I watched it, and it's amazing. It's such a good film.
Yeah.
I think Hans Zimmer did the score.
I think you're right.
Which is so crazy to think about.
Yeah,
it's just
what
like
it is now.
Super good, kind of like I don't want to say a chick flick, but basically, and
it's an empowering flick.
It's a very empowering flick. Yeah. That was such a fun night, and I remember it's so. I mean, I'm just so thankful. Like the Lord is so good for getting me through all this film stuff, because I look back and I'm like, why am I here? Do you know I'm a poser? No. But I remember Makoto was there.
Yes, Makoto Kuchimura.
Yeah, and so awesome. We were in this Thunderbird, like old, dope car.
Beautiful, silver trim, blue.
I think they put towels down there, like, don't touch it. No. Yeah. But we were gonna get a specific insert, and he was in there with like the B-roll camera.
B camera, yeah.
I was like, I never thought I'd be in a Thunderbird car with Makoto, who was such a game changer for actually Turn On Your Own. He really helped us out with a lot of the filters we wanted, which Crystal wanted specifically for the look of the film. And he he was like a little hesitant at first because he didn't know who I was, and I was like, well, I'm working with like Kelsie and Crystal and Casey. He was like, oh, I know all those people. Yeah. Here's my filters. Here are my personal camera filters.
He has such a big heart. He's
such
so
a big heart.
amazing and so talented.
He's so good. Yeah, and so then a month later, I'm in a Thunderbird car with him. I wanted to apologize almost, like, I'm sorry, you have to be here with me.
That's so cool.
It was so fun.
So cool.
But yeah, he's a lot of fun. But yeah, you just turn around and like life Hawaii.
Yeah, life is wild.
Yeah.
Because Kat Wong was on that set too that night. She was doing wardrobe with Josh.
Yes.
Josh Masai.
Oh, okay.
Who was the wardrobe director on that. Yeah.
Oh, I love him.
So cool.
I love doing the commercial. I think it's healthy for if you're a filmmaker to be an actor at some point, because you really are reminded about what you're there for and how they feel. I remember the guy who was doing the lighting, he needed me to stand at the gas station tank. What do you call it? The actual station where you pay.
Oh, yeah.
And he was having trouble like taping it. And normally actors are kind of, they walk around a lot and they move their mark, but I knew, because I just finished my film, and as politely as you can, you want to say, just stand still.
Yeah.
I need you to stand still. And so I knew. So that was my favorite part, was understanding what it was like as an actor. And then, on all the other sets I've been on since then, all the others, there's been like 2 or 3. Just knowing how the actors constantly feel, and they are constantly self-conscious, and not in a bad way. They're just they have to be super aware, and that was great for me as a AD producer, just checking in, and if they are out of line, just politely saying like, "This is why I need you to stand still,"
right?
Because the lighting looks horrible.
Yes.
We're trying to fix it. Yeah. So that was I really enjoyed it for that. For that reason.
Oh,
yeah.
Man, so cool.
Yeah.
So wild.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So, that was a late night though.
It was so crazy. Were you in the car when we almost had that casualty and the lights kind of came
Yes.
down? Oh my
Yes.
God, it was so crazy. And everyone's like, oh no, the Thunderbird. Oh wait, actors.
Yeah. But I kind of anticipated it.
Oh, you saw it coming.
Well, I knew. I was like, nothing has gone wrong yet.
It was such a professional set.
Yes.
Everyone was just top of their game.
Everyone
Nice.
was
So many
so
brilliant
great.
minds.
And so kind. And it was a lot of people who kind of grew up with Thelma and Louise, and so they were like, oh, look at you.
Yeah.
And I was like, thank you. And I was like, it means more to you probably than me. But yeah, I think because it just looks so, not dangerous, but it just looked crazy the way they had rigged it.
Yeah.
I was like, that light is super heavy.
It was like 2 pillars that came up and then went across, and then a light in the middle, and then the car under.
Yeah. And how were they? I forgot how they were.
There was a pulley system.
Oh, that's right, because they're pointing
at helicopter.
Right.
That's what it was.
Right, because in the film, at the end, the helicopter comes up the Grand Canyon.
Right.
And then they drive. And so they were simulating a spotlight of a helicopter, and so they had to like rig this thing above us, and the whole thing just dropped down a level.
It was like the C-stands had come undone.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was crazy.
I mean,
everyone's hearts dropped. Nothing like happened really, it just jolted.
Yeah.
I remember that they were like, the car, the girls. What do we prioritize here?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that. That was crazy. And Mad Max was that night as well.
Yeah, Mad Max that night. That's why we wrapped at 6 a.m. because we did Mad Max after you guys. It was so wild.
I refused to watch the commercial for the longest time. I refused, because that's not well, first of all, I didn't know I was coming to Hawaii to be a filmmaker. So there's that. And then I was not coming to Hawaii to be an actress or actor. And I was just like, out of principle, I shouldn't watch this commercial. And I avoided it for a very long time, and people were circulating it at work, and I kept hearing like, woo, woo. I was like, oh no, it's just 11 seconds, I can live. But then weird, funny, awesome situation. My parents were visiting at the end of January, and they had a hotel for a couple nights. And my husband and I were like, well, let's just turn on the local channel and we'll see if it comes on, right?
Yeah.
And so Mad Max actually comes on first. And I was like, oh, cool. I was there in the gas station, like that literal scene, And then second later,
Wow.
I come on, and my husband like tackled me. He was like, "You have to watch it." So I finally watched it, and I was just like, I mean, could have been better, but not bad. Yeah. Because I remember we did the car scene first, and I felt I struggled with that a lot. And then we probably took a break, probably had lunch or dinner. What would you call that at midnight? Is it like
break?
The break that you have a full meal? Yeah. I was like,
Midnight.
Who said it? They were like, lunch, dinner? And then we did the Brad Pitt scene where the cowboy and Thelma are flirting.
Yeah. And
I remember, which another note for your actors is like remind them to take a facial rest because Andrew, the director, he kept saying like, okay, like now try this, and I kept smiling and like my smile was going up my face and I was like, I need to restart, you know. And I was like uncranking the smile.
Right.
Like, okay, now it's your turn, Brad Pitt. Like you need to try this. And yeah, I was worried about that because I remember like my muscles were just spazzed out. It's like after your graduation or something, your wedding, you're just like, my jaw is broken. But yeah, when I finally saw that scene, I was like, oh, okay, you can't tell that my cheeks are numb, you know, from smiling so much. Yeah. But, oh man,
I thought the spot came out great.
Oh,
we're really proud of that spot.
Yeah.
It's only 15 seconds long, so you blink and you miss it.
Yeah, really. It was
fun.
It was a lot of fun. The guys had a good time with the leaf blower, because the helicopter, right, picked up a lot of wind, and they had a leaf blower. And I was watching the behind the scenes footage of on Instagram. And the guy was like intentionally following us, like trying to get closer. He was like, I want to get the hat off of her. It's funny. Yeah. I love it. I love it.
It's so much fun.
Yeah. Yeah. My poor coworkers, I showed up to work with like bright red hair and I didn't tell anyone what was happening. They were like, what? What happened to you?
Did you tell them that you got the role immediately?
I told them, yeah, I think I told them like the next day, but I showed up to work and then a day later I told them. So they're like, oh, okay, you're just doing one of your crazy things again. Yeah, but imagine like a bunch of scientists just trying to like, you know, understand what is this girl doing. Yeah, so
that's
wild.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah.
Well, you earn every minute of this crazy life, I swear.
Oh man, it's all the people I've met and the community has just loved on everyone I've been involved with, and for some reason accepted me. So yeah. But
so talk about what's next. So
you're
casting for something new.
I'm casting. Yes, I'm co-producing another HFC pitch. It's a pilot for a web series called Like Mutta.
Okay. And
we have an Instagram handle that we started a day ago, so I think I'm the only one following it. But yeah, it'll be Like Mutta on Instagram.
Okay.
MADDAH. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And it's about a 3-generational relationship: a grandmother, a mom, and a daughter. And the mom moves back to Hawaii after living in Minnesota. And she's like it's about a Japanese American family. And though I know nothing about that, the writer is from a Japanese American family. Oh, cool. So she's been collecting stories on her family for a while.
Who's the writer?
Stacy, I can never say her last name right. Her last name is Stacy Barclay, but I call her Stacy Fukuhara. Yeah, she'll laugh. I told her one time, I was like, you got to say her last name or I'm going to swear. And yeah. So Stacy Fukuhara, yeah. And Zach Harris is the director.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. And so we're casting on March 2nd and 3rd, Saturday and Sunday. And we have a whole slew of characters. Obviously the mom, the granddaughter, and the grandmother. And then Shar is one of the sister-in-laws or mother-in-laws, and then 3 male parts, and then I think there's 5 secondary casts.
Wow.
You know? Yeah, so it's a huge crowd.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
How many days of shooting are you looking at?
I think we're you know how it goes when it's so early in the schedule, but I think I told people tentatively the 3 weekends in April.
Okay.
The 2nd, 3rd, and 4th weekend in April.
So like 10 pages, 12 pages?
Yeah, the script is 11 pages right now.
Okay.
It's primarily at the entrance of a neighborhood gate and then inside. and then I think there might be like one outdoor thing. Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah. I worked with Stacy Fukuhara on another pitch for HFC. Alexander Dede. He did. He was almost finished with his film, Teammates. So we shot that in December.
Okay.
And I was co-producer and assistant director, which I loved. I loved being assistant director.
Okay.
So empowering. Yeah, I felt like a Faye Bailey.
Yeah.
I know how to do this. Yeah. That was a crazy set. Really sweet guys, and so Stacy was crafting on his film because they knew each other before from the Writers Immersive.
Okay.
Yeah, from Creative Lab.
Okay.
And so Stacy was kind of watching me work and called me up and was like, I love your work ethic. You did a really good job. And I was like, stop, you're lying. But yes, I will help you with yours. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Wow. So again,
and I totally see it. You're meant to produce.
Yeah, it's interesting, you know. I feel like I have so much to learn, but I told Stacy this yesterday, every set that you're on, every film production kind of informs the next one.
Sure.
And you do things the same way, and then you kind of change it a little bit, and that's sort of how I think about it. I still have a zillion more to learn, but I love it, and you know, have people to nag like you guys, having gone through it.
You never stop learning. Right?
Oh my gosh, you never do. So yeah, we're gonna see how this goes. We're gonna try to get the pilot shot by May.
Okay.
And then we applied to Creative Lab, and we'll see if we get in for the Writers Immersive.
Yeah.
Or the producers immersive. The web series. Wow. And then her goal is, I always ask any director I work with, like, what is your first priority? And for Stacy, we want to monetize it and we want to distribute it. So, and that's scary for me being in Hawaii, you know, because typically things that are monetized are from LA or bigger pictures or feature films. And, you know, it's daunting, but everyone who's on the crew and cast so far is really, really excited about it.
That's
so,
super rad.
Yeah. I'm looking to... her husband Robert is taking a sabbatical from WCC, Windward Community College, and they have quite the media department, sort of like ACM. I don't know if they have the ACM of WCC, but I would love to get them involved, maybe do like an internship or something. But yeah, just more student involvement.
Yeah.
Because ACM's great. It does get a lot of the attention. And West Oahu too has like really great media department. So yeah, just reaching out, building that indie film community. So yeah.
Like Mata. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no,
like Mata.
Another plug.
Real quick, ACM is actually like island wide and like across the islands.
Oh, sweet. So
it's not just Manoa.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So it's
part of a larger system.
That's right, because it's the ACM system.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be wrong to say WCC, ACM.
I think. I don't know. I don't know all the specific schools, at least all the UH schools. I think community colleges too.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, actually, because they have the website is ACM is that gold color.
Yes.
I know that Pantone color. Yeah, for work. Yeah, because ARL, where I work, is actually part of the system level as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's always confusing to be like UH at Manoa, but I try to always say like UH because it's not just Manoa campus, it's everything.
Right.
Yes, okay. WCC, ACM.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So you want to do this is like your career path.
Yeah, that question I ask myself every day because I mean I have a job, so this is just something that has been a really fun hobby. I don't know. I love producing because you kind of feel like you're constantly involved, but then I loved being an AD because you don't have to be creative, but you are in the most creative aspect, like the energy and things are changing constantly, and I love that. I don't know. I'm kind of hoping someday someone will just tell me what I should do.
You and me both.
Yeah. So I think, in 2018, it's nice that, it's the end of February, so we're still thinking about our New Year's resolutions and everything. It's 2019. In 2018, I just kept saying yes to everything. And I tried never to let an opportunity pass. And I think now that I've learned and I've seen and I've experienced, I can be more selective and more choosy about, I know that I'm good at this, I know that I'm not good at this. And I think in 2019, I'd like to be a little bit more selective. Sure. And also just focusing on what I'm meant to contribute creatively to Hawaii, to Honolulu. I mean, I was a visual artist. I was like in the studio all the time, being a printmaker, and so it'd be nice to see, where I'm meant to fit in there. But I don't know, I love the producing. I love the scheduling and the planning and watching creatives, kind of evolve during their projects. And I think it's nice because I'm a creative, I feel protected. Yeah. And, it's like I get to watch them kind of figure it out and wrestle through everything, but I don't have to suffer, Yeah. Yes, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah.
Well, you also seem to have kind of a mentor teaching spirit. The way you want to kind of organize these things to help people grow. Yeah. Right. And make their things better.
Yeah. So. I'm so thankful I get to volunteer at HFC, and it's such a venue to think about ideas and events and then kind of make them happen. I definitely, and I think that's why producing has been fun for me, is that sort of tiny mentorship where you could pick this location, or you could pick this one, or you could distribute it this way or market it this way. I think that's why it's fun for me. Okay. Yeah, but I'd be interested to see, like we talked about at the beginning, how people are receptive of showing their films and getting critique, because that's really what I love. I could talk about a finished product for ages. I mean, the things we choose and the reasons we chose them are endless. That's what I love is yeah. So I'll have to get a critiquing event going at HMC. Yeah. I hope my directors aren't listening. They'll be like, we're holding you to no. When is that scheduled? Yeah. Yes. So.
Well, I would love to submit Helicale to be
really
like that. Yeah.
Cool.
So Helicale, I completed my last year in ACM, and I love rewatching it. Like me and Anela did it recently, and we're just like, we could change this, and this, and just as like a practice, or just like a fun thing to do. Obviously, we're not going to do that. We're not going to recut it or anything, but it's just like a fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
It's like an exercise.
Yeah, I guess my next question would have been, and when we touched on this earlier, was, are people actually going to want to change anything, or would it just be a space where it's like it's safe to say whatever you want there? Well, not whatever, within reason. It's really hard to get people to be constructive when they're giving critique. But yeah, I think that would be an interesting kind of condition. It's like, show your film with the understanding that it's probably not going to change.
Right, as just like an exercise. And then maybe you can open it up later to people who are still working with their films, to try to to learn the terms, like you said, like learning texture and why things like lines matter, things like that. Yeah.
Cool.
Because I would like to learn too.
Sweet.
I want to learn terms.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
Yeah, I think kind of controlling the critiquing room too. So it's like someone's going to protect you no matter what. It's really important.
A safe space.
A safe space.
It's a safe space.
They shouldn't just get up there and be like talking crap.
Right.
And being toxic or whatever. Like be constructive. Have, like, okay, this didn't work, but this worked.
Right.
Or maybe you did this would work, that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. And with the final product, if, even if they're not going to rework it or anything, then that gives them like knowledge, like, okay, that didn't work in this thing, but in my next project, maybe I can employ some of this.
Right. I think a lot of times, I lost my train of thought there for a second.
Oh, sorry. Okay. We've been going.
We're gonna make it happen.
We've hit an hour. So.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. Maybe that's the.
No, well,
that's your blooper. I didn't spill the water, thankfully.
But I'm curious, like, what are some films that have influenced you or otherwise just love?
Oof. And this is, of course, the question that your mind goes blank. And the second I leave, I'm going to have, like, so many.
So, no pressure, safe space.
Yes.
You're not going to, like, go to your grave with this information. You can always take it back.
I can edit it later.
Yeah. Maybe, like, top 10, kind of, like, somewhere in the top 10. So it doesn't have to be number 1.
Like, first thing that come to mind.
Actually, well, Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Okay.
I don't know why. I mean, would you say, like, somatically?
I've never seen it. But it resides in your heart, so clearly influences you somehow.
You know, the reason I like it, just from an objective standpoint, is I saw one of my high school friends' sister do a one-person skit on it, which you've seen it. You have it? Oh, so okay. Yeah. Let me set the scene for you. There's never only one person in the movie. There's always two people. So the fact that she did a monologue by herself was amazing. It was creative. It was so Audrey Hepburn of her to do that. And so I was like, what is this Breakfast at Tiffany's? So I watched the film, and it's kind of a day in the life. It's a movie about a girl who just kind of stumbles through life, and that doesn't apply at all. Type thing. Like, as much as I think I have it together, we don't. None of us have it together. And I don't. I'd be interested if you ever get the chance to watch it. I'd be interested on your thoughts on if it's very cinematic and very, like, a beautiful film. I think it is. It's shot in New York, and her character is what kind of ties it all together.
Okay.
But that is sort of the one I can play and never get tired of and cry all the time.
That's what came to mind when you mentioned it. I was just like, oh, it's a beautiful film. Oh, she must love beauty. Oh, Turn on Your Own is such a beautiful. Screenshots from it.
Yeah.
Feminine beauty. Classic.
Probably. And I filled out a questionnaire recently that asked me actually this question, which I'm laughing. I should remember them. I think I put Thelma and Louise because it was, like, a recent one. And Little Miss Sunshine.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that movie.
Part of, I don't know who, I can't remember who said this, probably Emma Daly. She was like, Toyo's actually, like, funny, which it wasn't. It's not a comedy, it's a drama. But we were trying to capture this awkwardness that is so apparent in high school girls. And I think Little Miss Sunshine, I watched it after finishing Toyo, but it's awkward, but hilarious. And it's the relationship dynamic that you're interested in. And my favorite part, I think I've talked about crying. I don't cry a lot, but films will get me. But when the sun finally snaps,
when it's colorblind,
I just lost it. Yeah, because you've seen it, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's like a 20-year-old movie, so
okay.
No spoilers.
Well, when I fly home, it's a 12-hour day, so I just, like, stock up on the movies I want to watch. So I watched it on a plane recently, and I think it was so brilliant the way the writer wrote his character, and what I coin as, and this is, like, something you totally should use, and something you should steal. I call it a character condition. So you write your characters, obviously, you're passionate about them, but you set criteria in the storyline or in their character that they end up, like, having to face against. Or you know your characters so well that that when they're faced with something, they can or cannot. It's kind of like a computer code.
Okay.
It's like a if not, if can type thing. I think I love New Girl. I think they do a good job of that. Like, they mention, like, cupcakes or something with Jess, and it's not really something that's carried throughout the season, but in 3 down the road it is mentioned again, and you're like, oh yeah, that's right, she loves cupcakes or something. I think Amy Sherman Palladino with Gilmore Girls and Mrs. Maisel, she does a good job of writing characters that have conditions that she never addresses, but you feel like you know them so well that you're like, are you going to mention that again? Are you going to bring that up in the storyline? And she never does, and so it's like you don't ever have to show it on camera, but you know your character so well that you just kind of character conditions.
Okay.
They cannot pass this. But the fact that he wasn't going to speak, and then he did was just brilliant writing, brilliant screenwriting. Yeah, and especially when the daughter was kind of the caveat to getting him back in the van. That was another what I would call character condition. I also just cleaned out my DVDs. Do you guys have DVDs?
Yes.
Am I the only one?
No, okay. I do. But I can't get rid of them.
I know, it's hard.
I hold them
Like DVDs,
so
not Blu-rays.
Oh yes,
Oh, yeah,
DVDs.
DVDs.
I never understood Blu-ray.
Awesome.
Oh, because my parents never got that TV. I cleaned out my DVDs because our laptops now don't
I know.
support that.
Oh yeah.
I can't get them rid
I
of
know.
them.
So all that to say is, I kept the 3 that I know I always have on deck. It was Breakfast at Tiffany's, the movie Morning Glory, which these aren't known for their writing, but now that I'm analyzing them, I think they are known for their very empowering female characters. Have you seen Morning Glory?
Never heard of it.
I've never heard of it. Okay, it's got Harrison Ford and Rachel McAdams.
Okay.
And it's just about an executive producer at a news station.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard
So I mean, it's like your typical formulaic show, but I think I loved it because I didn't understand this concept of film, but I saw that at such a really young age that I was like, why is she so passionate about this thing that is so vague to me? Type. And then I figured out, I was like, oh, she's a producer. She's an executive producer. And it's a really cute film. And then the other one, Perks of Being a Wallflower, is really great. Say Anything, very vague.
Yes.
John Cusack.
Yes.
And then, maybe I should get rid of it because I can't remember the third one that's in my deck. Obviously, Pride and Prejudice. But more for the beauty.
The BBC?
Yeah.
Or the...
Keira Knightley.
Oh, okay. Well, that was pretty good too.
Yeah, so those are my ones.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you seen Atonement?
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Right? You brought up Keira Knightley and I can't bring up I can't not bring up Atonement. So great.
Very,
so
very
great.
good.
I recently watched it again and it just brings me to tears every time. Have you seen Atonement?
Oh man.
That's with James McAvoy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We're like, yes.
Well,
Yes, it is.
maybe watch it when you're ready.
I
really like it.
That green dress. I need that dress.
Yeah. Man, yeah, where I watched that was a really weird situation. But talk about a rabbit hole of history. After the film was over, I was like, what happened during World War II? Because I don't want to spoil it.
I know.
I got one for you. Nicholas Nickleby.
Ooh.
You saw?
I haven't seen it.
Oh.
Nicholas Nickleby.
Charlie Hunnam. From Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
Everyone knows him as like the tough badass. But he's like a delightful young British man making it in the world and falls in love with Anne Hathaway and tries to get her, but she's about to marry them.
Anne Hathaway?
Anne Hathaway. Yes.
Huh.
It's okay. So I was wrong about Little Miss Sunshine. It's about 10 years old. I think Nicholas Nickleby is about 20 years old because
okay.
2002, 2003.
Was that before Princess Diaries?
I'm like Princess Diaries.
No, it was after because that was like 2001, 2000. So this probably was like the one or two after. But delightful film.
Oh,
it's
I've
a
gotta
Dickens
look it up.
story.
Yes.
It's so freaking good.
Oh gosh,
Yes.
This isn't an obligatory watch, but one of the ones on my deck is Tommy Boy.
Yeah. Yes. That is a classic.
Okay, based on that reaction, I think I need to watch that first, and then your suggestion. Yeah, one of my friends, I just met her recently.
Oh, so you haven't seen it?
I've not seen
Oh my
it.
goodness.
But she asked me like twice. I mean, we only knew each other for like 3 days, and now we're fast friends. And she was like, "Have you seen Tommy Boy? Do you like Adam Sandler?" And he's kind of like a cannot type for me.
Oh, he's not in it. Adam Sandler's not.
Oh, so she asked me if that was the type of humor I liked, and I was like,
It's
Tommy Boy with
It's
David
different.
Spade.
Yeah, David Spade and Chris
it's David
Farley.
Spade. Okay.
Tommy Boy.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris
Classic.
Farley.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's fantastic.
Okay.
It is a
It's
classic.
definitely Adam Sandler humor.
Okay.
Yeah, in a good way.
Okay.
In the best way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I started watching Portlandia on your recommendation and like addicted. Have you seen Fred? What's his last name? I can't
Armisen.
Armisen. Have you seen him? Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee.
I know of it.
Okay.
I haven't watched it yet.
The
Yeah.
episode with him is beyond good. I mean, you could use it in daily life. It's so funny.
Oh my god, I'm gonna download it.
Oh, good. Do you watch that, Jerry Seinfeld? Okay.
Wait, which one?
It's
Cars is getting.
Yeah.
No, I've seen clips.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
But I'll
the
watch
clips
it.
will get you through.
Is
yeah.
it on Netflix?
It is.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
Really good. The one with Trevor Noah is also really good.
I bet.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
He's so good. So funny. Yeah.
Fred is
Atonement.
so funny.
Yeah. We were on Atonement before we jumped this way.
Yes.
Period pieces.
Atonement, I think, because I saw it in 2017, like right before I graduated college, and during the summer. And I was really busy that summer, so I wasn't watching a lot of films, and so I remembered it. But it was such good writing, and it's the type of story that you want to end well, and doesn't, which doesn't ruin too much. And I think it's small things like that that start getting you towards this film track. I mean, if you start really tracing why and what and where and your influences, and that has a lot to do with being an artist in general, is knowing your influences historically and contemporarily. I think Atonement really did it for me as far as the writing. Yeah. And the history. Yeah.
I recommend the book.
Yeah.
I got the book for Valentine's Day last year.
Oh,
I was
really?
I was so touched when I got it for
Because
me.
it's a true story.
I wouldn't say that.
Parts of it?
But it's just beautifully written
Okay.
because it's so descriptive. It really puts you in that mansion. You know, you're like looking at the vase that she holds and brings to the fountain. That vase has so much more meaning than it does in
in the book
film.
than the film. Yeah.
So it just adds a lot more.
The part of what they brought into from World War II though is true, as far as a couple of the casualties, which doesn't
I
ruin
see.
too much.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Which is what confused me because it's World War II. It just felt so real, and also like the character of the little girl, like her story will really stick with you. Yeah. And I think also, I'm not really good with thriller or horror movies at all. I'm way too sensitive for that. And the scene in the desk in the office, when the camera is panning on the two with the little girl, if you recall. I'm trying to be really vague. So it's like the turning point. It's like the whole reason she lied. Yeah. That, I was so scared. I like watched it like this. I was like, the camera movement.
It's not a horror movie.
I know. Yeah, when you think of it, because it turns the corner. And they set it up in a way that it feels like it's going to be a murder or something. Yeah, the music and then the darkness and the colors. Yeah, it was just like, I mean, that movie was kind of...
Oh, I'm so happy that you feel the same way.
Yeah.
I took a chance when you said Karen, I was like, I gotta bring it up.
Yeah. So Atonement is one of those ones that just kind of like popped up on Netflix one day, and I was like, okay, let's give it a go.
Wow.
I'm ready to cry. Yeah.
Did you cry?
Oh man, like a child.
Right?
Yeah.
To just bawl. Cliff, if this doesn't sell you on the movie, I don't know what will.
It's good. Well, where I was watching it, I was in a dorm room, so like there were beds next to me I think there were people in them, I don't know. It was a Friday night, so people were probably out. But when they came back in, seeing this girl like with her laptop like crying, it's just like, it's not what you think it is. Yeah. But it is. It's a chick flick that's making me cry. Yeah.
Variety. So good.
Yes.
Speaking of movies, I have to bring it up. The Oscars are on Sunday.
Oh, already.
So excited.
Wow. Oh man, I gotta find a way to watch it. No.
Oh, okay.
I haven't.
Never mind.
I don't have cable, or like, how do you watch it?
Oh, not the Oscars themselves, but like the movies that are nominated.
Oh. No.
Into it.
I don't know anything. I'm so bad at doing that.
Okay.
Fill me in on what.
I don't know. There's a lot of great ones nominated. Yeah.
And then maybe something to talk about. Roma is a Netflix original.
Okay.
And has been nominated for cinematography, editing, something.
Roma.
Everything.
Okay.
Oh, all of it. Okay.
Best picture, best directing, best cinematography. Best edited too.
Okay.
Yeah, best foreign film for sure.
Okay. Recently, Steven Spielberg made some remarks at some event that the best contribution a filmmaker can give is the theatrical, cinematic experience. People taking that as throwing shade at the streaming services. And before, at another event, a year or two before, he mentioned that a real filmmaker puts, or a movie shouldn't be considered for Oscars unless they have a theatrical run. Discuss.
Oh.
Are films if they're streaming, or do they have to have a theatrical release?
Right, I remember
we talked about this
with John.
Yeah.
His documentary is good.
Just realized the light went out.
I think that films are films if they are on streaming services. Absolutely.
What do you think, people who are watching? We're not going to see them until after we cut, but let us know.
Anella, what do you think?
Sorry, we need to work that out.
Sorry, is he watching? Yeah, and the first thing I think of is all the students' ACM systems across Oahu and the state of Hawaii, which we've clarified and figured out in this podcast. As I think about their films and I think about what they're learning in the world that's changing, and the technology that's changing, and the distribution that's changing, are we teaching filmmaking if they're not provided like a theatrical release?
You could say that's what film festivals are for.
Right.
But some people say those are getting archaic.
Right, film festivals are getting archaic. I think if I had to decide for everyone today, I would say having a theatrical release is kind of important to the whole package, but it's not the defining moment. Mainly, and let me loop this back to something that I know is art if it's not in a gallery.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, powwow's going on right now. We're gonna go on Friday, and who am I to stand there and point at something on a wall that's beautifully done, that considers the elements and principles of design, but it's on a wall, on a concrete wall in the face of a building.
Yeah.
Is it art? And I think the context constantly changes, but I think the historical reason that it's there is important. I mean, that was the venue for how like we viewed films originally.
Yeah.
But like I said, the world's changing and technology's changing. Like, I don't think it doesn't degrade it if it wasn't shown on a film.
Big screen.
Yeah, because I mean, well, you had yours filmed at shown at HFC, right?
Yes.
You did the Show Your Shorts.
Yeah.
So how do you feel? Do you feel like if it wasn't ever screened?
Not necessarily, because it is designed to be a web series.
Right.
But it is really rad to see it on a big screen in front of an audience. And
Did it
participate in that
change
experience.
visually at all, or kind of the user, the viewer experience? Do you feel like it changed?
Only because it was a group of people not involved with the production, sitting in one room watching it. So yeah, and I was born before the internet and grew up without it. So my dream has always been theatrical release.
Right.
But in recent years, it's changed. Because I mean, the way I consume most of my media now is through a phone or a pad or
right.
A TV hooked up to a computer. So I hope that the cinematic experience doesn't go extinct, but I agree. I don't think. Well, I like to think it's essential, but not necessary, which contradicts itself, I guess.
Yeah, it's a milestone. It's essential, but not necessary.
It'd
That's
be
a good way.
nice.
Yeah.
It'd be super nice.
And it's there because, like you said, it was the first way of viewing it.
Yeah.
That's what it's always been. Interesting.
Because I mean, there is something about the experience about being in a room of people, total strangers, and watching something and people like audibly gasp. And then at the end, as corny and as useless as it is, applauding at the end.
Yeah.
You know, no one's gonna hear it except everyone. But who cares? They moved to action to recognizing the art, and that's
the collective
beautiful
experience.
Yeah.
You know, it's a group.
Mm-hmm.
It's a group participatory act.
At the same time, sorry, as a father of a 2-year-old who's not able to get out all the time, I am grateful for the streaming services.
Right. Yeah. It goes both ways. Well, I think about Ready Player One.
Oh.
And I think he said we made a movie, not a film. And I think even Steven Spielberg is, you know, falling into that category of technology is kind of changing the way we view things and digest things. Yeah. Kat Francel's dad actually told me that quote.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's touching.
Yeah. Everything full circle. Yeah. Very, like I said, very humbled and honored to be here. But Stephen, how could you say that about Roma? I mean, the fact that it's a web series on Netflix.
Oh, it's a film.
It's a film.
It's a movie.
Okay, I mean, the fact that it's a foreign film should be celebrated. And and it should be put in a theater. I mean, maybe if that's not the producers and the director's intent, but
I wouldn't say it had a limited run.
It was in HIF. It was at least in some film festivals.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Oh, okay. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Like Amazon Studios does that also. With some of their stuff, like limited theatrical runs.
Right.
But then primarily streaming.
Yeah, I definitely don't think the theater should never go away. The cinematic experience should never go away. But I don't think it's not defining anymore.
Indeed.
Technology in the world is changing.
Yes, very quickly.
There are a lot of upcoming filmmakers who need their shot.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's easier than ever to make something and then reach your audience immediately.
Right.
As soon as you're done.
Yeah, which makes the competition harder.
Oh yeah.
It's so interesting how something can immediately benefit society, and then also you're like, oh darn, everyone else is doing this too, type thing.
Well, that comes back to your point about being yourself, about finding your voice, being yourself, and just letting it happen, and that's what attracts people is authenticity.
Authenticity,
and that can come through in art.
Yeah. Art is film art.
Exactly. Yes, it is.
We got to get the ACM and the film, the art students talking. That'll be my next
crusade.
Yeah, my next crusade.
Finally, the theater students are talking to the ACM students, so to bring in the art students too would be really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
For a long time, ACM wasn't communicating with theater.
Oh,
now,
gosh.
finally, they're bridging the gap.
Yeah. I'm hoping if I'm able to recruit any UH broad students for graphic design, filmmaking, because a lot of the art students and the graphic design students, I think, overlap. Because I think it's in the same college, maybe. I'm not sure. But they definitely need to be. The creatives always need to stick together.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well,
I don't know how long we've been talking.
We're at an hour and a half now.
Oh my gosh. Don't you guys have like lives?
When we get that calendar notification, this is our life for that night.
Yeah. Oh my word. Yeah.
This seems like a healthy point.
Sure.
An hour and a half.
You're so
That's
awesome,
gonna back. Oh my gosh.
This is
Just stop.
an absolute pleasure.
Very
Thank
a
you.
wonderful way of
Very
expressing
humble.
yourself.
Thank you.
Really.
Well, I'm very excited, and I owe a lot to the state of Hawaii for taking me in. Very humbled. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We're so excited for what comes next.
Yeah.
Oh my God, good luck with
I'll
casting.
keep you updated. Ooh, casting.
At Like Mata on Instagram.
At Like Mata, yeah. Hashtag Like Mata. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And editing, turn on your own.
Turn on your own. Yeah, Toyo. We thought it was cool.
Hashtag
That it was like, YOLO, but Toyo.
Yeah.
Editing, I'm gonna get some more people's feedback, and then just like you know how it is. You just get disorganized so easily.
Yep.
That I would just like to know where my files are.
Yes.
where they are, what color they are, and so it's kind of something simple like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So, because we'll see.
Okay.
But March is like this time in March. My goal.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like you said, deadlines are healthy.
They're so
That
healthy.
really stuck with me.
They're so healthy. Yeah. Very healthy. Not the end all be all, but very healthy. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Great.
Cool.
Mary Baghdady. There you have it.
Yeah, there you have it.
What a great cast.
I don't know if you guys like hit end or something.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna keep
Oh, is
talking.
there anything else that you want to plug, like your website, or
Oh.
where can people find your art, your personal stuff?
Yeah, my art. My art is on my website, marybaghdady.com, and then I'm pretty active on Instagram.
Okay.
I sent it to you in my bio. Mary and Baghdady on Instagram. But yeah, hopefully, honestly, hopefully you'll see my art like physically soon.
Okay.
I think it's time that I crank out the old printmaking mill. Not that I have one; that would have been expensive to ship. But yeah, I'd like to dip into the art scene here. Kind of slow down a little bit, see what happens. But I don't know. The film life is addicting. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, I'm so excited for what you do
see.
next. That's so cool.
Hashtag Mary conquers the world.
Oh gosh, barely, just in time. Yeah. Putting it real close. Oh, sorry.
Bonus
Just
points.
let her roll.
We'll definitely ask you back. Yes.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and congratulations. This is awesome.
Oh, thanks.
It's so fun.
Thanks
It's so
MPMP for.
I know. Shout out to MPMP. Yeah, we're really, really lucky. It's super
It's
cool.
a great room. Great studio you have here. I heard
We're-
it was
we're
in your
still-
house. It used to be in your house.
Yeah, for a while.
Wow.
And then we moved to libraries like Hamilton.
Oh.
Yeah, just Hamilton in the study rooms for a bit, and then.
It's cool to like go to people's places though, like in their element.
Yeah. Oh, it was my place.
Oh, your place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they came
yeah.
to me.
Which
In
is cool.
Cliffs, yeah.
So I got to see all baby pictures from
Yeah.
Stormy. And I think there were wedding photos too. in the
Yeah.
cabinet.
I love listening to No Film School's podcast.
Oh yeah, that's
and
good.
they go to all the film festivals,
Mhm.
and so it's interesting thinking about, because here, you know, like we can watch,
Mhm.
but it's interesting thinking about like where they're sitting and what the activity on is. They're like huddled over a mic, like, oh, we gotta share this
Yes.
mic, you know, it's the portable set, you know. I like thinking about that.
Yeah.
We gotta take this on the road.
Yeah, totally.
Road show.
Go to
Cool.
Austin, go visit Jay.
Yes,
Hey.
that'd be amazing.
Next film festival.
Hell yeah.
So if you want to sponsor us, Cliff or Kelsie at cuttingitclosepod.com. Yes.
phasonmedia.com.
Yes.
Patreon.
Yeah, we're getting to that. Yes.
I think consonants is the thing where it's like multiple.
Okay.
That's the word consonants. Yeah, because of the K
Yeah.
or the C.
Yeah.
It's that time.
Constant consonants.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
No,
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Mary.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really appreciate it. Such an honor.
Thank you to anyone who was watching the live stream. We will look back at the comments. We'll figure out a way to do it in show, like maybe have a segment or something. I don't know, but follow us at Cutting It Close Pod on Instagram and Facebook, and cuttingitclosepod.com, iTunes, Stitchers. When the audio stuff will come out, this one it's not gonna be. It's gonna be a few weeks before
No
the
worries.
finished thing comes out. But for now,
You have a life?
I try.
No. I always bring this up, but his wife is expecting. You know?
Oh.
I brought this up on our
What?
podcast. It's just so amazing. It's
How
so
did we get
easy.
this far?
Yeah, well, it's about you. You're the guest. My goodness.
I know.
Almost the community. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
How
So cool.
far along?
Well, the due date is like the second day of the creative lab. So I'm not applying.
Oh, what a sacrifice.
I was. I
You
did
could apply together.
So
You
what?
could be
As a
collaborator. Yeah. Oh, are you applying for the web series or the writers?
I was going to, but
Yeah.
yeah, since
Yeah, you could.
we'll have this other production happening
Yeah.
down at
Priorities.
Queens.
Priorities.
Yeah.
Oh, at
But,
Queens. Yeah, we didn't.
Hey, we didn't touch that.
Next time.
Oh.
Cousin, I have a few battle scars we'll touch
We have
on.
matching
Okay.
chin scars
Oh, my
Yeah.
word.
from matching incidents.
Yours was mine was 2018.
Mine was 2017.
Oh wow.
We can give a little rap. I passed out in a parking lot and got a bloody chin.
Yeah.
And some stitches.
Oy.
I did go to Queens though. I went
Also
to
passed out
Huh.
very close to a parking lot.
Good heavens.
Safeway shopping center.
Yikes.
God.
Yeah, and went to Queens.
I went to Kapiolani Women's.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the closest emergency room.
Yeah. 3 stitches. You probably had about like 6.
Yeah, mine was a little longer. Yeah, but I didn't have to go back to get them out.
They just dissolved.
Yeah,
Lucky
it's
you.
one of those. Yeah,
That was the worst pain, was
Oh my gosh.
getting it out. Yeah. Yeah.
My doctor was like, we get a lot of women in around your age that this happens to.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm like, I guess that makes you feel better. I don't know. Like,
Women be falling, passing out or something.
yeah.
We go that hard. It requires an emergency room.
There you go.
It was actually on a film set.
Yeah.
Right? No, I've seen some
She would freak out over that. No. Yeah.
It happened a week before I was visiting my boyfriend's family for the first time.
Oh,
Like Christmas.
And it happened the week
Yoy.
before?
Yeah,
So you
so
showed up with...
I showed up with like stitches right here, and I had a huge like raspberry on
Oh,
my
my
cheek
word.
too.
I had that too.
Get out!
I had
Yeah?
a bruise on my cheek.
Oh my goodness.
It happened like the Monday before I was supposed to produce an AD set, an all male set essentially. I think there were 2 other girls, and so I felt awesome. Like,
Yeah.
and I was like, "You have to listen to me. I'm an AD. And I have 4 stitches in my chin."
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, there's some power there.
When you passed out, did you blacked out? Obviously.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have
Blacked
a
out in the
dream?
mirror? No.
I had.
Wow.
The craziest dream.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Oh my god, this is great.
So,
Keep
well,
it going.
well,
Keep it going.
the reason my chin split at all was because, like, I knew I was passing out, and typically your chin doesn't like erupt when you pass out, but I fell forward when I sat down on the bench, and I blacked out as I was mid lean, because you're supposed to put your head between your knees.
Oh.
Just next time, if you pass out,
Okay.
just go on the ground. It's
Okay.
safer for everyone. Saves you a
Gotcha.
hospital bill. And when I hit the ground, I blacked out, and then I had this dream. But I met a midwife who said that happens a lot when you have like a lot of blood loss, or you split yourself and you pass out. People have really crazy dreams. And I remember waking up. I was probably gone for like 30 seconds. I really don't know. And I just started crying, not because I was like in so much pain, but I was just like, what just happened? Like, what was that dream?
Oh my word.
Yeah.
Did it feel like hours and hours? For
Yeah,
the dream?
it was like a long time, and it was very
Wow. You
vivid.
went to Narnia.
Yeah, basically, it was like a mix between Narnia and Alice in Wonderland. It's very Alice in Wonderland thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So like 11
Crazy.
a.m. in the morning though, so nothing caused it.
Right.
Hey, there's
right.
no shame in that.
So yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
Next time, look
Yeah,
for the
now I
dream.
know.
Hope
Yeah.
for the dream.
Yeah, hope for the dream.
Living for the dream.
Yes.
Yeah, it was weird. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Kindred spirits, man. That is so cool. That's so funny.
That's actually the reason I'm on this podcast.
Yes.
Yes, for that
Yeah.
story. Yeah. Truth comes out. Yeah.
All right. Fantastic. All right. Well, we're going to do that. Cut it. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
And we'll be back soon.